peace, love, and musical happiness. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 Billboard chart-topping rock songs of the 70s. For this list, we focus on rock songs that reached number 1 on the Billboard charts while making a definitive mark on pop culture.
In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain.
Number 10, My Sweet Lord, George Harrison.
My sweet Lord, my Lord.
Just weeks after the untimely deaths of Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin, rock fans were presented with a gift from the gods, courtesy of a new solo artist named George Harrison.
Really wanna know you, really wanna go with you.
As the Beatles had recently parted ways, the experimental music upped the ante by releasing a triple album entitled All Things Must Pass, with a lead single dedicated to the supreme deity Krishna. Therapeutic for both the artist and listeners alike, My Sweet Lord became the most successful single of George Harrison's post-Beatles career, as the song hit number 1, where it remained for 4 weeks. Number 9, Maggie May, Rod Stewart. From a man with naturally hippie hair to one with a carefully sculpted mane of early 70s glory. After playing with the Jeff Beck Group in the late 60s, Rod the Mod set off on a solo career and thoroughly dominated the Billboard charts with the throaty vocals of Maggie May. Based on his first sexual encounter with a much older dame, the song details a strange journey of love. But despite the awkward details, Rod Stewart topped the Billboard Hot 100 for an impressive 5 weeks. Number 8, Me and Bobby McGee, Janis Joplin.
Busted flat in Baton Rouge, waiting for a train, and I was feeling near as faded as my jeans.
Unless you lived through the 70s, there's a good chance that this chart topper is the only Janis Joplin song you can name off the top of your head.
From the Kentucky coal mine to the California sun, hey Bobby shared the secrets of my soul.
And there's a good reason for that, as it was released a few months after her life ended at the age of 27. Co-written by Chris Christopherson and Roy Orbison producer Fred Foster, Me and Bobby McGee was recorded the week of Joplin's death.
Good enough for me and my Bobby McGee.
Much to the surprise of Christopherson upon first hearing the version one day after the singer passed. Janis's short but legendary music career was given a touching send-off as the song became a chart topper and one of her signature songs.
Hey, 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 Bobby McGee.
Number 7, Crocodile Rock, Elton John.
I remember when rock was young, me and Susie had so much fun.
While rock stars have been known to be a bit pretentious, this song stripped away all the theatrics with respect to the early days of rock and roll.
Oh, Lordy Mama, those Friday nights when Susie wore her dress as tight.
Crocodile Rock originated after Elton John heard the Australian hit Eagle Rock by Daddy Cool, and along with writing partner Bernie Taupin, he came up with the playful lyrics for a future Billboard number 1. Okay, it's not exactly the most thrashing of early 70s rock songs, but it captures the essence and energy of the genre itself.
We were hopping and bopping to the Crocodile Rock. Rockin' is fun and shopping when your feet just can't keep still. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Number 6. American Pie, Don McLean.
This'll be the day that I die.
Speaking of, well, serious musicians, Don McLean once noted that his lyrics to the culture phenomenon are beyond analysis. They're poetry. And you know what? He's right.
Now for 10 years we've been on our own. Moss grows flat on a rolling stone. That's not how it used to be.
As a recollection of the day the music died, American Pie is essentially about America itself, and as the singer has noted himself, it means that he doesn't ever have to work again. Ever.
We all got to dance. Oh, but we never got the chance.
Because that's what happens when you find yourself at the top of the Billboard charts. American Pie reminds of a more innocent time, and it remains a memento of classic folk rock.
Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my ship to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Number 5. American Woman, the Guess Who.
American woman, stay away from me. American woman, mama, let me be.
Speaking of Americana, perhaps it was the success of this rock hit that inspired Don McLean to write a more in-depth response.
Well, come and knocking around my door. Don't wanna see your shadow no more.
Whatever the case, the Guess Who weren't actually Americans at all, but a Canadian rock band who caused a stir with the aggressive nature of their lyrics.
American woman, said get away.
Despite the controversy, the United States took a liking to American Woman, and it ultimately climbed its way to the top of the charts, thus proving that all it takes is a funky groove and an America reference to gain attention. And maybe some badass vocals too.
Gotta get away, now go, go, go. I'm gonna leave you, woman. Gotta leave you, woman. Bye,
Number 4. Brown Sugar, the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, go, go, say, you better cut off beer. Rolling about the daddy New Orleans.
Well, here's a song that wouldn't exactly fly as a new release today, but nevertheless, it's undoubtedly a rock and roll classic.
Bounce you up, just like a young horse.
Recorded down south at Alabama's Muscle Shoals studio and inspired by Mick Jagger's relationship with Marsha Hunt, the lyrics were every parent's worst nightmare in 1971, and not exactly politically correct.
I know you, boy, but I know that life. You should have heard me just around midnight.
Then again, we're talking about the Rolling Stones, a legendary band who could sell anything, and Brown Sugar was ultimately consumed like a daily appetizer for rock fans.
I see ya, yeah. It's like a young horse.
Number 3. Bridge Over Troubled Water, Simon and Garfunkel.
When you're weary, feeling small.
Put your palms to the sky, baby, because this folky number will have you praising the godly songwriting of Paul Simon. For the lead single off their final album, Simon and Garfunkel channeled a little gospel along with Phil Spector's wall of sound technique for a song that would be covered by the likes of Elvis Presley, Aretha Franklin, and Johnny Cash.
Darkness comes and pain is all around.
Almost 5 minutes in length, Bridge Over Troubled Water has a grand scope of positivity that had people shouting from the mountaintops. Remaining atop the Billboard Hot 100 for 6 big weeks, there's no doubt that this is one of the duo's most signature songs. Number 2, Let It Be, The Beatles.
Times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of
Written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney, Let It Be originated after the latter saw his deceased mother in a dream, and upon its release, no other rock song had ever debuted higher on the Billboard charts.
let it be, let it be.
fitting conclusion to the band's decade together, Let It Be stands the test of time and is often considered one of the greatest songs of all time. The track marked the end of the era, as McCartney left the Beatles approximately 5 weeks after the song's release. But you know what they say, let it be. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
I've been to the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain.
Makes a man trick things over. Fame keeps you loose and hard to swallow.
You're a rich girl, don't you talk, oh, you don't.
Number 1. Hotel California, The Eagles.
On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair.
By the mid-70s, die-hard music fans were becoming less concerned with the Billboard charts and more interested in the scope of albums as a whole.
And I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or this could be hell.
And when the Eagles released their 5th studio album in December of 1976, a 6.5-minute musical journey stopped listeners in their tracks.
How they dance in the courtyard, sweet summer sweat.
Musically adroit and lyrically profound, Hotel California is far more than a soft rock anthem and one of the best-selling songs of all time.
Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place.
It's a surrealistic fantasy open for endless interpretations.
Living it up at the Hotel California.
So, do you agree with our selections? What is your favorite Billboard chart-topping rock song of the 70s? For more musical top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.